Bonjour tout le monde. Hello, everybody. My name is Jimmy Smith, and welcome to a session on grape varieties on Garnacha and Grenache. This is our intermediate version, so this is ideal for WSET Level 2. If you are requiring more information about this type of variety, please look at our advanced version, which is ideal for Level 3 and Level 4. Okay, so let's move on. As mentioned, my name is Jimmy Smith. I am the owner of West London Wine School, South London Wine Education Facilities in the United Kingdom, plus Streatham Wine House, which is a cool little wine bar down in South London. Please get in touch if you have any comments or questions with those social handles, and our websites are listed below. So as mentioned, let's move on to Grenache and Garnacha, learn a little bit about it, where we find it, and then the style that you expect from this variety. As mentioned, this is great if you are studying WSET Level 2. So, Garnacha, Grenache, these is the same variety, but two different names here. And this is classic in the world of wine, where you have a number of different names dependent on the local dialect and where it comes from. So Garnacha is the Spanish for it, and Grenache is the French name for it. So it is a Mediterranean variety. It loves all places on Western Mediterranean, and we think it's very much likely to come from Spain. The Spanish, of course, wholeheartedly believe that, but the Italians believe that Sardinia is its origin. So there's a bit of disconnect, but we know it's from the Mediterranean. So as mentioned, Garnacha, so Garnacha Tinta is its name in Spain, and Grenache Noir is its name in France. The variety itself is an early budding variety and quite late ripening, which means it has a long season. It needs to ripen a lot. So it needs warm to hot climates. Our Mediterranean, therefore, or very arid continental zones are perfect for it. So it needs a lot of heat and warmth. That will actually, in turn, give you quite ripe berries, very sweet berries with potential high alcohols in the wine. The very best wines for Garnacha will be from sites where the yields are controlled, because it's quite a productive vine. So if you leave it alone, it will yield a huge amount. But those very quality conscious grape growers and winemakers will control those yields, meaning that the grapes that they do produce, the lesser, smaller amount of grapes, will actually be much higher in quality, more concentration and better color, better flavor. So what do we get in turn? Like I mentioned, high sugars, meaning quite high alcohols, of course, for the final wine. Generally, the wines are lower in acids, but they can be a little bit higher towards medium. And tannins will be low to medium. The combinations there will change because Grenache is more commonly blended. So depending on what it is blended with, of course, it will change those variables. So Syrah is something that you will need to know for WSET Level 2 as a common blending partner for Grenache in France. So this is very common around places like Côte de Rhône Village, and Châteauneuf-du-Pape. The very sort of low acidity, low tannin, red-fruited Grenache works very well with the quite high tannin, quite high acid, black-fruited Syrah. They are complementary, and they create a balance between the two varieties. It, of course, is also used for pink production, rosé production, and this is something that you'll need to know around the south of France, specifically areas like Provence, for instance, where it's normally a single varietal or blended with things like Syrah or Cinsault. These productions of rosés can be anything from very light skin contact to quite a lot, meaning quite pale styles, towards quite deep coloured rosés. So these would be our sort of salmon colours to pink style rosés. And where we find the variety, so of course, these are some of the key names that you'll need to associate with your WSET Level 2. In France, it's found majorly in the Southern Rhône and Southern France. And in the Southern Rhône, specifically areas around Châteauneuf-du-Pape, which is a village with the grape variety really at its heart. Normally wines are made from around 60 to 80% Grenache Noir. Côte de Rhône or Côte de Rhône Village. This is a bigger catchment area. Côte de Rhône is all the kind of areas around the southern Rhone, larger production, generally making simpler, more quaffable, fruity, spicy wines. And the Village a little bit more complex. Châteauneuf-du-Pape will be the one that's the most complex there, often darker, dried fruits, more spice, developing things like leather, meat, and smoke with age. In Spain, you will find Navarra, quite classically for Rosado, rosés, Rioja as a blending grape, and Priorat in Catalonia as a blending grape variety. So often with Carignan, it is blended, or Carignan in Priorat. In Australia down under, we have the regions around South Australia. You'll find some in Barossa and some in McLaren Vale, and blended like they are in the Southern Rhone with Syrah as Shiraz, of course. So Grenache, Shiraz, quite common blending partners in Australia. What does it taste like? So most Grenache will have a huge backbone of red fruit characteristics. Strawberries, raspberries, and cherries are very much dominant. It's also quite spicy, so expect things like licorice and white pepper. And also it can have herbaceous notes, so certainly when it's in France or in Catalonia in Spain, so lavender and thyme and rosemary. It can be oak-aged, the bottom left there. That's for the more serious expressions. So you may find oaky styles with the more premium wines. But most generally don't tend to be. But please do remember that Grenache's overall characteristic depends quite a lot on what it will be blended with, as it commonly is blended. Its tannins as a varietal on its own will tend to be towards low, its acids towards low, its alcohols towards high, and it can have potentially quite big bodies with that alcohol as well. So that is really the intermediate look at the variety Grenache or Garnacha. Once again, if you want more knowledge on about its history, its etymology, or the naming of the variety, plus how it is in the vineyard, how it is in the winery, and more knowledge around where you find it in the world, then please look at our advanced version, which is suitable for level 3 and level 4 WSET. So thank you again. Thank you for your time. If you have any comments or questions, please get in touch. That's my personal handle at Wine with Jimmy. Then we have at West London Wine, South London Wine, and Streatham Winehouse. So please stay safe. Take care of yourselves. I hope you've learned something, and see you very soon. Bye-bye.